you still testing?
Yes.
Can you tell me what the login is, the password for this is?
Now, hold on a second.
Are you still testing?
Yes.
Can you tell me what the login is, the password for this is?
No.
They're not here, that's good.
Ed, can you hear us? Ed, can you hear us?
I don't think you can.
So I don't know that one specifically.
Mr. Myers? Mr. Myers?
Yeah, we'll get the target.
Mr. Myers?
I would have to look, I mean,
No.
and I don't know, this isn't broke down by quota, but
No. You know?
Mr. Myers, can you hear me now?
Oh, gosh.
We might look at it, but in general, we're just not taking.
How are you?
Yeah.
Good, how are you? I'm making it, here's the deal with all sales.
So if we can only say if you want to, it might be worth it, but
I don't know where I am.
you're right.
Yeah, say, say computer audio.
So, how you doing?
I'm good, how are you,
Good,
Sean?
thank you.
I'm making coffee if anyone wants any.
There we go. Now I think I see it.
Hey, where'd you get?
All right, I'm hanging up.
I can hear him now.
Yeah, we're good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey, Sean.
Do you want me to be muted or unmuted? Hello.
Join with computer or audio. Okay. Okay, am I on?
I hear you, Lori,
Okay. I think,
but I don't see anybody.
can anyone else hear?
Lori, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Lori, but I can't see or hear anybody else.
Okay, you can't see or hear anyone else?
No.
Okay, can you hear me now, Mr. Myers?
Yes, no, I've got a picture. Yeah, everything's fine.
Ms. Walker, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clearly.
Oh, that's good. I'm sporting my new mask from Junie's tie-dye.
Lori, your video is off.
All right. Maybe that's a good thing. All right.
Now we can see her.
Okay, I'm gonna call the special meeting to order and tell Wendy that we're all here, so we're zooming. Otherwise, everybody's here. So we're gonna skip to item B, discussion and vote to approve or not to approve the following surplus. Have a second? Is there any discussion? Okay, Mr. Myers,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Someone at the door, I'm sorry.
Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
Ms. Nemo,
Aye.
and I. Item C, business items, consent docket, vote to approve or not to approve the following.
I move to approve item C1A through F.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Do we want to entertain any discussion? All right, Ms. Nemo,
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
Mr. Myers,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
and I. D, discussion about to approve or not to approve the revised 2021 calendar.
I move to approve.
Second,
Second that.
I'll second.
do I have any discussion?
And I'll speak to it briefly. Basically, what this is doing is noting our start date change for students to August the 27th. PD will still start on the 10th. We have pushed the student start date back 2 weeks. It's not noted on this calendar, but we won't have to add any days to the school year. Basically, what we will do is add 10 minutes to each school day. That's already on the calendar, and that will keep us in compliance with the 1080 rules of the state. That's what you'll be approved tonight on this calendar.
So we're adding 10 minutes to each school day?
Yes, once kids start back on the 27th, every student will be 10 minutes longer, but we'll keep the same days on the calendar. So we won't have to go more days. They'll just have to do 10 more minutes each day. That way we can meet the 1080 threshold.
Right.
Is that spread throughout the class day? Those 10 minutes, is it spread throughout each class?
Yeah, best you can.
Ms. Walker?
Yes, there was something else in those 2 weeks that the teachers they will be there the 10th through the 27th. What are we expecting of them? Or will they be in the buildings working or?
Yes, they'll be reporting to work just like school will be in session. The 10th to the 26th, normal workday hours. We'll work to have their PD provided each day, and then we'll also have, in those 2 weeks, there'll be a lot of individual time to work in their rooms, work with departments, or whatever the case may be. But we will. The point to having the 2 weeks is to provide more training time, so we're going to work hard to provide everything that the teachers need in that 2 week span.
Okay, curriculum and training with devices and
Everything from devices, curriculum, safety, everything under the sun that COVID has course he has to adapt to.
Okay, all right.
Any other discussion? Mr. Myers,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Emo,
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
and I. E, discussion and vote to approve or not to approve the following handbooks, manuals for 2021.
Move to approve items 1 through 13.
Second.
I'll second that.
Do you have any discussion?
I have a question. I thought I did find it. There is a discrepancy. In one place, it says that students have to be fever-free 24 hours, and in one place, it says 72 hours.
Which two?
I only have the page numbers of the whole big document. One of them, so we've got this all pulled out as one, says 412 pages, so it's all of them together. One of them's on page 334 of that. And all I can do is scroll back up until I find which one it is. Or we can't, which is it? Which is the recommendation? So can we approve this with the change?
The amendment to motion.
I think Sean made the motion.
Sean made the motion.
So if you will motion to approve with the amendment that students must be, to make sure that students must be fever-free 24 hours prior to returning.
And I would like to amend my motion for students to be fever-free for 24 hours. And approve items 1 through 13 with that one change.
Any other discussion?
I didn't hear a bit of that.
Okay,
And so the changes to the handbook are highlighted.
Mhm.
And on
Yes.
one of them, for COVID procedures, it says that students must be fever-free for 24 hours before returning. And in a
Right.
different section, it says 72 hours. And I think that was just a discrepancy. The recommendation is 24 hours. So Mr. Shepherd's motion was to approve the handbooks with the change of 72 to 24.
Yeah, thank you.
okay. Anything else? Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
Ms. Nemo,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Mr. Myers,
Aye.
and I. F, discussion and vote to approve or not to approve the revisions, amendments to the following policies.
To approve item number 1, policy 5200, online instruction.
Second.
Any discussion?
And just briefly, I'm gonna assume this is red, the changes are in red. Basically just an update to a policy that we already have for online education. It's in the first paragraph. It's just saying we'll update items on the website. It just runs down through everything. And then on the back page, it says, the second page, we will allow them to withdraw or enroll once per semester. That's one change that we made from the beginning. Then on item 7, it just changes it from the past skills to the Oklahoma academic standards. And then on the last page, we just put that during the pandemic, we may provide devices or connectivity. So this policy was already in place. We're just making those changes to that policy.
Anything else? Mr. Myers,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Nemo,
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
and I. G, discussion and vote to approve the adoption of the following policies.
I move to approve items G 1 through 3.
Second that.
And these are actually 3 new policies, just directly related to COVID, obviously. The first one is our face covering policy, which the board approved to require either a mask or a face shield for everybody when school starts back. This is just a policy that our attorneys have drafted for the district. That way we have that in our policy manual. I don't want to go go over it all, but I'll just draw your attention to the second page. It just lists levels of masking. We're currently at level 5, but we're just making everybody wear a mask, but it still gives the board some leeway in case things change or get better. We can drop down to level 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's all built into the policy. We didn't want to just say the policy was everybody wears a mask, because hopefully things will get better one day, and then we can move on down the levels here. It gives some care, proper mask care, just let people know how to care for a shield and mask, how to wash them. It also mentioned the exemptions. Basically, exemption can be provided from your doctor. The doctor needs to explain why there's an inability to wear a mask. You need to indicate whether the individual can wear a face shield if they can't wear a mask. And then if both of those two are true, then they need to identify alternative measures recommended by the doctor for protecting that individual and also the students. So whatever that doctor may recommend, what can they do since they're not wearing a face covering? Temporary exemptions on here. Obviously, an activity where a mask is not practical, be during an athletic event while they're eating, recess, certain reading activities. Just whatever the mask is not conducive to whatever that activity is. That is basically the policy. The consequences, it's one of those things we have to be very careful to discipline kids just because of masks. So we have to work hard. There needs to be a lot of intervention, talking to mom, dad, talking to the kids to get them to wear a mask before we don't want to be in a habit of just suspending a kid with a mask. But it'll just be a process on that. Number 2 is the medical exemption. We're required to set up a review committee. As you can see on this one, this is 6010. This just sets up that committee and also lists the people, the positions that will serve on those committees. This is required by law that we set that up. Now, number 3 is just a district screening protocol. It's just saying we're asking all parents to self-screen at home and keep them home if they have a 100-point and we'll also check them on some capacity once they get to school. Those are those 3 new policies that we did not have.
So we really don't have a expiration date of mask then, do we, say, that we don't have a date that says it's till this date?
No, and that's what those levels give us. At any point in time, the board could vote and say, we're going to go to level 2 or level 1, or we could just, we could vote to remove the policy altogether.
So would Talbot Public Schools fall under the city ordinance that was passed till November 30th or no?
No. Again, we create our own policies here. There is a little bit of overlap in certain things in cities and schools, but as far as our own employees, students, district policies, we do create our own.
Does religious beliefs play into, I don't want to wear a mask?
It's not on there as one of the 3, and our attorney has drafted a memo that we have to give for any employee or family that wants to have an exemption. And it just goes back to these 3 reasons that are in this policy. So I don't know what would happen if that happens. I guess we would have to
That happens
together
to call our
advice.
attorney and see what they say.
Yeah, that wasn't one of those. It was more from a health standpoint.
Any other discussion?
Well, I was kind of wondering how well we might feel about being able to make this happen. How did things go at the graduation with the required mask? I saw a lot of pictures on Facebook of kids sitting out on the field, and they were not masked, and that was one of the requirements that we had. So I'm kind of wondering how we're going to be able to enforce this.
Well, when they were out on the field, it was 100-something degrees. If they were sitting in their chair, we really didn't care if they took their mask off just to breathe at that time. In general, this is going to apply to when they're in the school buildings. We've already said at recess, they can take them off. When they're in a sporting event, they can take them off. Graduation was just mainly we needed the mask on while they were getting to their seats, and then once they were seated, the chairs were socially distanced. So you have that distance, the masks were, we didn't have to have it at that point. But I understand what you're saying, but then at the same time, that would kind of fall into the exceptions. You know, once they were sitting not near anybody, it was uncomfortable. I kept mine on the whole time and it was hot, so I didn't.
Well, I'm sure it was, but it was just my understanding that the guidelines that the university presented us that they had to have their mask on when they were on the field. So that's what I was curious about.
It wasn't exactly that. It was that all employees and students would wear their masks coming in and knowing we were in groups, but NSU knew and agreed that when they were 6 feet apart and if it was 100 degrees, they could catch a breath or whatever they needed to do. We strategically made sure they were more than 6 feet apart, some of those chairs.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
And
Well, I can understand why they wouldn't. I was just curious.
It's a good question. It's going to be an issue, you know, anywhere. I mean, at every grade level, we'll have some kids and somebody who's going to make it a problem, make it hard to do. But we'll just be diligent and work hard to try to make sure they're on, you know, in the situations we need them on. And then, you know, hopefully those times when they can take them off, whether they're outside or eating, whatever the case may be, that'll give them a little bit of a break, and we'll go from there.
Just out of curiosity, how did the senior party night go with that provision?
I've not heard a good thing or a bad thing, so I'm taking that as good news.
All right. So will I.
Buses, Lacey.
Lacey went.
We'll let Ms. Wilson talk to it.
The senior party went very well. I thought personally, I followed the buses up there, so I was not on a bus. But when they got there, the kids were all great, and I felt like it went well.
Everyone who wanted to go got a seat on the bus.
Mhm. Yes, absolutely.
How many do you have?
We had, I want to say around 125. I don't remember the exact number, but around there. We did bag checks and breathalyzers and all that good stuff beforehand at the PAC, and it was great. It was good. The kids acted very good. I was nervous, you know, this is my first experience here, and I just didn't know. I hadn't been, and I just thought they were awesome. They did great. So,
Good,
yeah.
good.
Do we have any statistics as to how, whether there have been any positive cases with our students? And is there any bearing any relationship to the graduation or senior party or the prom that the parents put on for the kids? Do we know if there are any positive cases with our students? Because there's nothing in the papers anymore.
We had a conversation about that today just with staff. We've not been notified of a positive student case since around a week or two before July 4th. So I can't say there's not somebody, but we've not been notified of anybody being positive, either staff. We haven't had staff either, right? Yeah, we've had some staff that was around somebody that was positive that we had to quarantine, but we haven't had a staff member positive. We haven't been notified of any students being positive as of today.
That's fantastic. Great.
Well, I saw the post, I think yesterday, that we're getting really, really close to the number of cloth masks that we need to provide all students. I'm guessing we actually probably are there if we think about virtual enrollment, right? Because those kids aren't going to get them because they're not going to be here. So
we are, and some of those, you know, some people made masks and donated them. Some people donated money. So we had probably about, I would say, 1,300 cloth masks made. And then we were able to purchase some smaller size Telequa Tiger masks, something like what you guys have on, to bridge that gap. So when I said yesterday we were good, it's with the monetary donation where we had some purchased. And then I've had 3 or 4 deliveries today. And then so the rest of the pre-K masks will be taken care of no problem by next week. So everybody should have 1 to 2 cloth masks from either donated money or
the
donated
next drive we
services.
need is for these, right? So
That could be our next drive.
if anyone in the community has lanyards to donate that we can hook to kids' masks so they don't lose them when they take them off to eat lunch or get a drink, we'd
probably be helpful.
1,000 of those for you in my office.
I've got probably that many.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, I just thought, I know, because some of them go around your neck and you can drop them, but the ones that go around your ears, if you don't have them connected to something, you're gonna lay them down and they're gonna be floating all over the school.
Did I hear someone say something about Tahlequah tiger masks?
I'm sorry, Ed, what?
I said, did I hear somebody say something about Tahlequah tiger masks?
Well, Leon and Chrissy are sporting them.
Where can I get
Come to me.
one or two of
Ed.
those? I am at the meeting.
Do you want me to drive you one over and put in your mailbox?
Yeah, I'll pay
Or
for
I'll send
it.
Chuck back over it, yeah.
These are good ones too. They're light and they have the nose thing. They're nice ones.
I have yours in my office, Ed, next time I see you.
All right,
Do we
great.
have any numbers
Thanks,
yet
I'll
on the
pay for it.
virtual,
I'm sorry, Lori, repeat that, please.
number of virtual students we have enrolled at this point?
We are almost to about 1,000 as of today.
Okay.
That's K through 12.
Yes.
Okay, we're ready to vote on G. Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
Ms. Nemo,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Mr. Myers,
Aye.
and I. H, board to take action on the employment of Stephen H. McDonald Associates Incorporated as financial advisor to assist the district in obtaining lease purchase financing for the acquisition of real property.
I move to approve.
Second.
What this is, there'll be two items, H and I. I'll wait on I. I will talk about the actual money and the interest rates. Item H is us just approving them as our financial advisor for the purchase of the land. And McDonald Associates is a bonding company. They help school districts run their school bonds, and they ran our bond last time we did it, and they'll do ours next time. It's important that we use them instead of just going out and buying it ourselves, because with our intention of rolling it into the school bond, whenever we decide to do that, because there's a lot of legalities to be able to put that thing in there. And so to have them doing that from the start, that will just make it easier for us to roll that into the bond once we have that opportunity. So item H is we're just acknowledging that they're going to be our, to assist us in the purchase. And then on the next item, we'll talk about the actual purchase.
Discussion? All right, Mr. Myers,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Nemo,
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd, and I. I is board to consider and take action on a resolution approving the lease purchase of real property and authorizing the president and the clerk of the Board of Education and the superintendent of Tahlequah Public Schools to execute all necessary documents, including the real property lease purchase agreement.
Move to approve.
Second.
And again, this comes back to, they've already actually been putting in the work of getting bids for the lenders. And it's in your packet, this page here, I don't know if you've already looked at it. Basically, the principal that we agreed to on the land was $191,000. The best rate came back from Armstrong Bank. That's going to be a 1.5% interest rate for a 3-year finance. So it isn't over. There's still going to be a lot of paperwork and a lot of stuff to approve to get this actual plot. But this is just to get us going in the right direction. We've got financing and everything in place, so probably 2 or 3 weeks after the next board meeting, we'll be able to probably close. And then we'll probably have some more items for the board to vote after that, but we're getting close to making it real.
Is that 1.5 for 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
Ms. Nemo,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Mr. Myers,
Aye.
and I. Discussion and vote to approve or not approve the schedule of encumbrances.
I move to approve J 1 and 2.
Second that.
Any discussion? Mr. Myers,
Aye.
Ms. Walker,
Aye.
Ms. Zemo,
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
and I. Motion and vote to approve or not approve personnel issues.
Hey, I have to say something. On that sabbatical where it says Jennifer Clay, that's Jennifer Taylor. That's my fault. I'm sorry. It was Jennifer
We
Clay.
need to make that announcement in the,
Yes, when you vote, you can vote with that change.
Taylor. Okay. I move to approve personnel items 1 through 4 with item number 2, naming Catherine Carey as Heritage Special Care Para and Shelley Cunningham, Heritage Elementary Teacher. And also note in item number 4, sabbatical, Jennifer Clay to be changed to Jennifer Taylor as TMS nurse.
Second.
Any discussion? Mrs. Zemo,
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
Mr. Myers,
Aye.
Mrs. Walker,
Aye.
and I. Do I have a motion and a second to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Myers,
Aye.
Mrs. Walker,
Aye.
Mrs. Zemo,
Aye.
Mr. Shepherd,
Aye.
and I. Yeah.